What is going on, guys? I'm here today with another competitive analysis type video. I know you guys love these videos. I love making them, and today's video is about something that I was very interested in talking about, and it was weather in Gen 7. If you've been catching my streams over the last couple of months, I've been using a lot of weather teams whenever people challenge me, like a lot of the fun sun teams and sand teams I have, even like enjoyable rain teams, like you can see this Kabutops mountain water team. But in general, I've realized that weather is really good in Gen 7, and I mean, I feel like at first it didn't pick up. People knew rain was amazing in Gen 7 from the get-go, but right now it's at its complete peak. Sand is very good as well. I even think styles like sun are not bad, like even decent. Of course, not as strong as rain and sand, but nevertheless, I think all types of weather right now. I don't really know too much about hail, but we'll get to that when we get to it. But what I'm trying to say is I think all forms of weather are very potent in Gen 7 right now, and that's really interesting because back in Gen 6, you know, weather wasn't common at all. You would see sand sometimes. You could see Tyranitar plus Extradrive, but that's not really considered a sand team as much as it's just like, you know, drill offense with T-Tar support, I guess. And rain in general wasn't seen too much either because everyone hates using Politoed. But in Gen 7, we got some amazing new rain setters in Pelipper and sun setters in Torkoal. Torkoal, I think, is an insane mon, but I'll get into that when I get into that. So I guess first, a little backstory around weather. I started really getting into using weather sometime around SPL. I can show you exactly when. So it was this game right here. I know the dimensions might be off. Hold up. Okay, so this was my week 7. Oh shit, my Streamlabs thing is on. What's it called? So this is my week 7 game. CTC gave me this sand, and I liked it. And then in the last 5 weeks of SPL, 5 games in a row, I used weather. Check this out. Boom. I used sand the next week, so sand twice in a row. 3rd game in a row, boom, I brought rain. 4th game in a row, boom, rain again. 5th game in a row, sand this time. So I was like hooked on weather. Like I thought it was like the most insane shit ever. For real, like the last 5 weeks of SPL, I just had weather. I thought it was like, you know, just too good. I thought every team needed to have either Swampert or Excadrill or something. I liked the speed and the power way too much, and I was like, you know what, I just need to use weather. That was crazy to me when I looked back at my SPL stats, and I was like, what the fuck? How did I try to run weather 5 weeks in a row? But hey man, I thought it was very strong, and it is strong. And basically, this video is just gonna be me talking about it, different types of weather teams I have. You know, which ones I like, stuff like that. So I guess first we can just talk about sand. I guess I'll save rain for second, you know, and then I'll save sun for last because that's the, you know, the sexiest type. But we can start with sand first. So sand, I think all of my teams have Tyranitar to induce the sand. So let me look at a real sand team in Gen 7 real quick. Hold on, let's get to it. Let me find one that really looks like sand. So this is a good sand team, for example. This is a great sand team. Tyranitar with the AV to get rid of all the, you know, Alakazam, psychic types in general. Excadrill is able to take advantage with Sand Rush and play a support role with Rapid Spin and Stealth Rock, but it also has enough speed to revenge kill threats, you know, like Protean Greninja, which could end up being annoying to a team like this. Charizard obviously benefits from T-Tar being there to pursue Latios, shit like that. All in all, this is a pretty sound sand team. This is like a traditional sand team. I feel like the team I used in SPL Finals was also a pretty traditional sand team, as you can see. T-Tar, you know, mixed with the Zard. I got the Excadrill spin support, the Regenerator defensive core, Feeny for pressure. This would look like your traditional sand team, I guess you can say. An untraditional sand team would be like the Komodo offense I used. That just had a T-Tar. I mean, I had a drill as well, but that was more of like a sand HO in a sense. This is more of a bulkier sand team. Let's look at other ones I have. So this was a great one as well. This Rotom Zard X team. I loved this team when I used it. This is more of a sand offense as well. My boy Brofist passed me this one. I got a lot of success with this. Chople T-Tar instead of AV. This one is able to take a lot of attacks. I believe I was able to live all out pummeling from Tapu Lele and kill it with Stone Edge in return, which is crazy. You're also able to check Alakazam one time, you know, get rid of that. So this T-Tar works similarly to the way it works in Black White. A lot of you guys know this team from my channel as well. This T-Tar Mega team plus the Clown. But in general, you can see a lot of these sand teams share similarities. A lot of them have Torn, Grass, Water being, you know, Tangrowth or Ferrothorn, Rotom, Feeny, whatever the case may be, Pex. All of them, of course, have Excadrill too, which works great as spin support. And in general, these sand bulky offenses kind of follow the same framework. As for the teams I used in SPL that were sand, this team was very weird. CTC gave to me. It does follow the same bulky grass water framework. We do have Pex and Tangrowth. The other team had that as well because those work really great on sand for soaking up hits. But this team uses the offensive parts of sand as well with setup Tyranitar, setup Lando, and of course Excadrill has to be on every team as well. So this is more of a, I guess this is, I wouldn't call it balance or like offense. It's but it's not bulky offense either. It's like offense and defense just combined. There's no like synergy in like the way the Pokemon play, I guess. There's no momentum. Like if I wanted to make this bulky offense, I would have had Rotom and shit like that. But this team is more like you can really trip up an opponent the way you play a team like this. That's why I really like this team. And then the only other sand I had, I think, that I really liked, well, I had this sand, this Ray sand, which is like T-Tar Superior, Zard Y, very basic. Here we go, Clang. See, this is the other sand I had. But basically, you can see every sand I have features Excadrill, some water type, usually, some grass type, usually. I mean, this one didn't have water type, but I feel like every sand needs Tangrowth or Ferrothorn. I truly believe every sand needs one of those Pokemon. And by sand, I mean T-Tar plus Excadrill, of course. But sand's really good, guys. It's very, very strong. It was better a while ago. Now Rotom has taken off incredibly, so it's kind of annoying. And I don't think Z Giga Impact is that good of a set. Z Steel is way better. But if we go through the viability rankings, you can still see that Excadrill is able to knock out a lot of Pokemon. Like, look at all these guys. They all get destroyed by Drill. I mean, Landorus T gets sniped at +2. Zam can Revenge Code, but obviously can't switch in. Stuff like Ferrothorn, you know, they run more Spadef sets these days because they have to take on, what's it called? Ash Gren and stuff like that. So, you know, they don't have too much Fizz Def, so Earthquake can do upwards to 40%. All these guys, you can see they just get sniped. Even Celesteela, you know, while it does resist the dual stab, +2 Corkscrew Crash can do a whole lot. So yeah, you can see in general, Excadrill stab moves are just really good for the meta. It's also good defensively. Even though its defenses aren't that good, its typing is pretty great. It's able to wall Tapu Koko. It's able to switch into some Mega Latias if they're stored power Ice Beam and they haven't set up yet. In some scenarios, I have been able to scare it out. You know, it's able to switch into Clefable, stuff like that. It's able to take a hit now and then as well. So Excadrill is a great Pokemon, one of my favorites. But yeah, as for Sand, I have not used Hippowdon. I don't even think I have Hippo teams. Oh, I have this one. Okay, this is called Stall Pussies. Amazing. So this is CTC. Okay, so Kickass is a player who made this team, and then CTC revamped it because I gave it to him and told him I liked it. I used this team in a couple lives. I considered bringing an SPL a couple times, but ultimately something was off about it. It was just too defensive for my liking for a Sand. I don't know. I couldn't really understand what he was trying to do, and I feel like the Sand team CTC made with the Tapu Lele and the SD Landorus, if you guys remember that team, we were just talking about it, and I was saying how it wasn't really offense or defense. It was like a mixture of both. The team with no rocks, I thought that team was a superior take. This team is just way too defensive for no reason, in my opinion, but it's still a decent Sand team. I've seen Kickass get a lot of wins with this. I've seen a lot of people get a lot of wins with this, and even I've laddered with it. Like, it's an enjoyable team to use. I just don't like Hippo that much, and I think you can get rid of Hippo and take a more offensive route. But I mean, still follows the same framework. This is just a different take on Sand instead of using Tyranitar. Just wanted to show an example, I guess. But this was a very common team at one point in the metagame. There's another version of this team as well, I think. I can't really remember. This one also makes use of Mega Chomp, which is cool. I don't have any Mega Chomp Sands, and Mega Chomp is definitely legit. So I definitely have to talk about this team. But yeah, I'll probably link this one if I make a pastement of the teams and post them or something. But this one's pretty decent all around. But that's basically it for Sand. Yeah, Sand's great. Excadrill's great. Garchomp is pretty good. Not as good, but still pretty good. Mega Chomp, if you brought Mega Chomp versus me, you'll always get some kind of mileage. Because I always bring teams that would, like, at least lose one Pokemon to it. Like, I'm just going to look at some of my teams. Back, I used the SPL, and I bet you Mega Chomp and Excadrill shit on most of them. Damn, I got to scroll back, man. I got so many teams. Alright, but looking at a lot of these teams, like this CTC Weird Sand triple setup, smoked by Mega Chomp completely. Its helmet Tangrowth, so I get destroyed. Excadrill as well could fuck this team up if rocks went up. 6-0 because it's slow. Clang Time, this thing could get smoked by Mega Chomp too. It's not as bad, but it could still get smoked. This team could get smoked by Drill. I played a Drill with this Zard X team, but I played like a god. So you can see that Weathermons in general, you know, that's why Rotom is such a highly valued Pokemon as well, because it's able to take on both Sand, Drill, and Swampert. So that's, you know, very valuable for people. But yeah, that's basically it for Sand. Let's talk about Rain. I'm no stranger to Rain. I've been using Rain in SM since the Genesis, bro. I remember as soon as Sun and Moon came out, World Cup came around, I used Rain twice in a row, 2 days in a row, and I beat both the guys with the same Rain team. It was so epic. I was so fire, dude. But I mean, it was fucking rain, so it's cheap. I'll never have respect for rain, honestly. Even when I use it, I know in my head this shit does not take skill. Rain does not take any skill. Even when I have used it to get wins, I will admit, the only rain that has ever taken skill to use, just kidding, it doesn't exist. It really doesn't. Y'all thought I was gonna tell you something, right? Like I was gonna show you one of my games. No. Even the rain where I used that Gyarados, Coco, CTC, sexy team, yo, it doesn't matter. That shit still took no skill. Actually, I played that game like a god, but I digress. Either way, let's talk about rain. So Pelipper is the main one. I'm not gonna talk about this mono rain because this is a meme team, but the rains, why do I only have stupid rains? I have no OG rains. What the fuck? Whatever, it's fine. So this is the only rain I have, but I can talk about the other ones because you guys must have known them by now by looking on Showdown. But this is the only rain I have, the one I used in tournament. The Manaphy one I threw out because I didn't like, but this is just a take on rain. Every rain needs Pelipper, Swampert, Ferrothorn, and Tornadus. Every single team needs those 4. There's no reason to run rain unless you're running Swampert, and you need to run Swampert to, you know, have the Coco and electric resist in general. Ferrothorn is a necessity because he gives you hazards in your water resist, and Tornadus is also a necessity because it gives you the Kartana check and defog. So basically, those 4 mons are necessities. You need to have those 4. There's no questions asked. Gyarados and Coco are just my flavor picks. I could have had Gren, I could have had Kingdra, I could have had Kartana, I could have anything. And let me show you the rain. So this was the SPL game I played, me versus Charm Flash. As you can see, we both have pretty similar structures. He decided to not to use Ferrothorn and went for Rocks Swampert instead. I don't think he needed to run the dual steel bullshit he has going on, but either way, he decided to go with a more offensive route, which is fine. His rain team is still perfectly fine. It's not even a bad team. And it follows the same framework as mine. As you can see, you know, he needed Torn because he needed to have the Kartana counter, stuff like that. But even his is a bit more untraditional because I feel like Ferrothorn should be on all of these. This is rain. The one I'm using is very standard. This was back in March again during SPL. I lost this game, but this team is I mean, I think this is like the standard one you see on the ladder now all the time, right? Yeah, CTC passed me this. I mean, it's standard as rain. I don't know who made it. I just got it from CTC. He probably made it. But yeah, this is as standard as it gets. This is the bulkier Manaphy type build. Manaphy is insane right now on the ladder too. Everybody's getting insane mileage out of it. And I mean, it's good. It's pretty damn good. It's bulky as shit. +3 Surf in the rain cannot be switched into like by literally anything. Its coverage is good enough to just sweep everything in, especially with the damn Z moves. You can get past Mega Lotties, Ferrothorn, Pex, all that stuff. Gren in the rain is also an insane threat because of boosted Hydro Pump, and then of course you have to run Swampert. So what I'm using in this game is like the most standard rain. And then this is the other rain, the Azumarill rain on the protagonist side, as you can see. See, Azu's kind of hidden, but yeah, this is the Azu rain. This team is pretty good too. I don't think Azumarill is that good. It's like okay, but I mean, he has the standard 5, which will always work, and then he could have put anything over Azumarill, really. You could really tech anything over Azumarill. People used to run Shift Gear Magearna over Azumarill as well. That was a team I used to ladder with in Smogon Tour. Shift Gear Magearna over the Azumarill, and that team was insanely strong as well. It was Shift Gear, Flash, Cannon, Z-Steel. Yeah, insane team. But basically what I'm trying to say is, Rain really has to follow the same framework most of the time. You can have fun with your rains, but standard rain is just damn good. It's just very, very good. That's just how it is. Let me go to sample teams in here and see if they have the rain listed. Hold on, sample teams. Okay, let's see. Sample teams V2. Y'all got rain here? Let's see. Let's look at the sample rains. Okay. So this is the one. This is the one. My boy ABR passed me this one. This is way back in 2017 maybe, or 2018. 2018. But yeah. Shift Gear Mag with Z-Steel, and then, you know, just the standard offensive shit. Let's see any more. Do they have any more newer rains? Like, from the... What is this bullshit? I'm not trying to see extra shines with Cephalon HO. Come on, show me some rain. Show me some rain, kids. Man, you really gotta only go to my channel to learn about Pokemon. That's hilarious. Nah, I'm just playing. Come on, bro. Show me some rain. Stop showing me Coco Lucha. This Hydreigon bulky offense looks cool. Shouts to that guy. Alright, looks like there's no rain for me to look at. But either way, you guys get the point. It's really just Swampert. I think rain is at its peak right now. It's so damn good. It's annoying how good it is. There are some teams that can completely cockblock rain. Don't get it twisted. It's not like it's an auto win versus everything. Certain Ayapapa Rotoms will have you ripping your hair out because they'll be able to live every Dark Pulse, every Waterfall, every Surf, every Scald. Oh my god, that shit will live forever. And that thing is really good at destroying rain. Stuff like Komodo. Did you know Komodo literally obliterates rain if rocks go up? You hit your Z clanging scales and you win. there's nothing they can do. Tornadus dies to Z, just dies to Clanging Scales after rocks. Ferrothorn close combated. Pelipper dies. Greninja walled. You're faster after the speed boost. It dies. Swampert can't kill you. It dies. Everybody dies to Komodo under rain. So there are Pokemon in general that are able to smoke rain. I mean, Alakazam of course beats both weathers, unless it's AV-Titar, then you will lose. Alakazam is not a good anti-sand measure, but it is a good anti-rain, to be fair. But in general, yeah, rain can get fucked up by a lot of stuff. Kartana, because you have to go to your Torn. So what if they go for Z, Giga Impact, Bandit, Smart Strike, or they just chip you in general? Like, you know, rain has its issues, but it can be an auto-win matchup in many games too. It can be an auto-win matchup in many games, simply because Swampert is just too much for a lot of teams to handle. If a team's Swampert counter is Helmet Tangrowth, or not Helmet Tangrowth, sorry, AV Tangrowth, plus like Tornadus, plus Landers, T-Intimidate, yeah, that team is going to get fucked up by Swampert. And if it doesn't get fucked up by Swampert, it's going to lose to the Greninja firing off Rain Boosted Specs Hydro Pump in the back. And so that's why Rain is so good, because you're able to just overpressure your opponent thanks to the boosted water type attack. Sand can't do that. Extra doesn't have anybody like boosting its Iron Heads and shit like that, except for the Z Crystal, obviously. But yeah, Rain is annoying in that sense, because stuff like Ash Gren becomes even harder to check when Specs Hydro Pump's coming off and your resist takes 45. Your Ferrothorn is no longer a check. So that's why Rain Ash Gren is one. That's why I think Ash Gren should be on like every rain too. I think Ash Gren is I mean, I know I ran that Gyarados rain without it, but the Gyarados team I ran was just to counter team, not really counter team, because I do think Gyarados is good, but my opponent Charm Flash had been using a lot of either like fat bullshit, like super fat bullshit, or like Rotom. And this was sub DD Z Water Gyara, and Z Water in the rain would smoke the Rotom. That was basically the idea, and then I could sub on the Volt Switch. So that's why I picked Gyara. But I could have very easily put a Greninja there over Gyara and probably yielded the exact same results. But yeah, that's basically it for rain. Now let's talk about my favorite strategy, Sun. I don't know what happened or when I started loving Sun so much, but I really love Sun. So these are the two Suns I have used the most. This is the first one I used, Karen Smith's Sun. Karen Smith, one of my friends, a player, just plays on the ladder and stuff. They gave me this team. It was the first time I had used Sun with Venusaur, really, and it's really good. I mean, I know the team looks fucking crazy. I mean, it is. It's Sun HO. It's an insane team, and there will be some games you play where you'll lose, right? Because this has like funny ass mons. But in general, I found that this team, if played offensively, can really bring a lot of wins. You have the tools. Venusaur Under the Sun is very fast. This set is good too if you are able to predict. The only problem is, of course, Heatran, but Final Gambit, Victini, Earthquake, Dragonite, you know, they kind of help with that. If you're able to lure that thing in. I also have Earthquake Torkoal here with enough Spadef to tank Earth powers, so you're able to chip. Specs Blacephalon's also able to 2-hit KO Heatran easily, so the lack of Earthquake on Venusaur isn't too bad. But in general, I really enjoy this team. It's really fun to like throw out super high-powered fire-type moves. Scarf Victini with Final Gambit is also great because you're able to get rid of stuff like Tyranitar that would just annoy the Sun all around. Dragonite was really fun as well. I mean, I needed that shit. It was a much-needed resist to a lot of water attacks and shit like that. And the Mawa was in the back. I mean, this is kind of just a thrown together team. I doubt that there was that much thought put into it, but Torkoal is an underrated mon. Seriously, it's great, really. Its defensive typing and stats allow it to check a lot of Pokemon like Tapu Bulu, Kartana. Heatran can't KO you, so you're able to Earthquake. I find it's not hard to set up Stealth Rock on quite a lot of Pokemon. Like, if we go into the viability rankings, is this sample teams? Alright, let me get out of here and go to viability rankings. At least this is pretty organized. You see they put Pex in S rank now? That's insane. I gotta talk about that in a later bit, because that shit is not S rank. But you can see that it takes on a lot of Pokemon, right? It can take on Assaultvis Magearna, it can take on Ferrothorn, Kartana, it walls Mawile, it can switch into Celesteela. Obviously, you know, most Pokemon take a shit on it, but like, you know what I mean. It's physically defensive enough to switch into a lot of Pokemon, even scare them out with the risk of Lava Plume burning. It brings about the weather as well for 8 turns. It's not a bad Pokemon at all, even as spin support, and it's very physically defensive, as we all know. It can stay in on stuff like Landorus and just rapid spin if it really needed to. Garchomp, stuff like that. Like, this thing doesn't give a fuck. I've had a Lava Plume versus Extradrill tanking the Earthquake just to win the 1v1, and I'll take that trade any day. It's also a surefire counter to Mawile. That thing cannot do anything. +2 bounces off Torkoal. So that's pretty nice. So that's the fun Sun I have. The other Sun I have is Brazy Sun that CTC gave me. That's what it's called. This is an insane Sun from my boy Lancey Bear. But here's the Sun I was using a lot of on stream. A lot of people might recognize this one, but I spammed this one a ton. I love this team as well. This one uses a defensive core of Torkoal, Skarmory, Gastrodon. Skarmory, Gastrodon is just a great defensive core in general because it's able to take on most of the key threats in the metagame. I'm talking Kartana, Koko, Yes, stuff like Metachem will always be a threat, but this team isn't too bad versus Metachem, if we're being honest. It can't KO Victini, it can't KO Skarm or Torkoal, so all of them can do something. Diancie kills it. Venusaur will kill it with Z Poison. Victini will blow that shit up with V Create and resist all of its moves. This Venusaur is different from the other one. This one is Growth, Earthquake, and Poisonium Z. This set is very cool. CDC has some HP on it. Not sure why, but you know, we'll take any defense we can on this. I like this Sun team because it's able to take on Ashgren as well with Gastron. Gastron's actually really great on this one. It's just a good tool for Sun teams to have. Of course, if I face something like Bloom Doom Heatran or something, yeah, of course, then I'm going to be in a shitty situation. But in general, Gastron is good at taking on a lot of the annoying ass shit like Coco, Gren, Gear, Heatran for Sun. And then Venusaur is meant to be the sweeper. +2 Poison Z lets you Oko shit like Lotties. Sludge Bomb also doesn't Oko Tapu Lele, but with the Z move back, it does from 100%. Earthquake is, of course, the Snipe Heatran. You trade that to be walled by Celesteela, but Celesteela will never beat a team that has Gastrodon plus a Banded Vic. You know what I'm saying? You want Earthquake as well because you need to be able to hit Tran. But this team limits Tran quite well because Victini has U-turn if it ever tries to switch in. Venusaur can take it out. Diancie can definitely take it out. And Gastrodon takes it out as well. This Diancie set is really great as well because HP Fire lets you chip Celesteela, all that good stuff. And it's backed up, boosted. This is just a good team. This is a very good team. This is probably better than the Karen Smith one. That team is good too, but this is my most consistent Sun, no doubt. I've had a lot of success with this. And Banded Victini is the greatest one because, I mean, stuff like Pex gets 2-hit KO'd with ease. And that's really that for my Sun teams, I believe. Hail, I don't have Hail teams, bro. I only have that Sama Mamoswine shit. I think Hail's bad because there's no such thing as like a Hail team. What takes advantage of Hail that you're going to use? You're not using Sandslash or Beartic, bro. They're bad. Unfortunately, they're just plain bad Pokemon. Maybe I'll try to fuck around with them and make a funny video out of it one day, but the only thing you can do is make Sama's Mamoswine team, and that shit is ass. Abomasnow as a Pokemon is an ass. That Pokemon is like okay. Like we can make that work, but a true Hail team doesn't work because there's no real Pokemon to take advantage. Even a well-played Beartic, my most famous meme I created, well-played Beartic, even he might not be enough anymore. Maybe if they gave that shit Earthquake or Close Combat or some shit, but I think it's Superpower. Either way, Hail, not that good. But if I were to rank them right now, Rain is of course the king. Sand is still up there too, but I think Sun is very slept on. People will always be like, Sun, are you high? Like, cause people are so afraid to use Standard. Only one person has ever used Sun in tournament, and that's my boy TDK. He ran Sun, Cresselia, Trick Room with Marowak, Satanic team, smoked his opponent terribly. But nobody uses Sun. I feel like if I was playing a tournament right now, I would load up this Brazy Sun and I would 6-0 somebody instantly. I would end someone's career with this team. This team is damn good too. Like, I feel like I could win with anything too. CDC gives me the most heinous bullshit that I always win with. That like, if I can win versus Coco Lucha with all these NUs, I can win with this. And I really want to have an excuse to whip this team out. Maybe in Smoke on Tour. But yeah, Sun, very underrated. Definitely check this out. I'll provide this team in the PV as well. But yeah, that's basically my talk about weather in the metagame. Just some ramblings, but weather's great. All styles are great. Toy around with stuff. Let me know what you guys think. You know, what types of, you know, styles you're using. Rain-wise, sand-wise, sun-wise, I think sun-wise is the most creative one you can get around with. I mean, you need to have Torkoal and you need to have Venusaur because that's what makes it sun, but you can definitely get more creative. Rain is the most rigid, and sand probably has some room for experimentation. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Check out the agency merch as always. The link will be in the description. That is available for another week or so. And I'll catch you guys soon. Peace.